So, first of all, Rosh Chodesh Tov, everyone. The story of Purim, that's the subject of the shiur. Anyone here know when is Purim been performed? The miracle of Purim, before we start? How long the miracle of Purim took? Because if you read the Megillah, sorry, by the way, can you hear me on top? Am I clear enough? Okay. So, how long the miracle of Purim took? Anyone have any idea? 1 year. 1 year. Because if you read the Megillah, it sounds like 1 year, nachon? From the day that he sent the pur, that means from he sent the messages, until it's changed the decree, it sounds like a year, nachon? Brian, you say?
10 years.
10 years. Brian said 10 years. Any other opinion? No. So, Be'ezrat Hashem, na'aseh v'natzliach, we'll see who's right. Okay. The miracle of Purim happened 2,374 years ago. That means, if you calculate it, 356 years before the counting of the Common Era, BC. 356 years before the counting of the Common Era. It's happened, the period that it happened, it was after the destruction of the first temple. After the destruction of the first temple and just before the building of the second temple. That's when the miracle Purim actually performed. And it was 250 years before the miracle of Hanukkah. You understand what I'm saying? So the miracle of Hanukkah came 250 years later. Okay, how long did it stretch? The miracle of Purim stretched over 9 years. Not far, huh? Brian, not far. Okay, what's happened? Now we have to understand what's happened. The first temple been destroyed by Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon. After the destruction of the first temple by Nebuchadnezzar, Babylon became a major empire in the world. After that, Babylon gone to war with the Persian underneath the rulership of Cyrus Koresh. Koresh was the king of Persia, and he managed to conquer the entire empire of the Babylonian. Not only that, he took an oath that if HaKadosh Baruch Hu will help him to conquer the Babylonian empire, he will give a permission to start to build the second temple. And that's what happened. After 3 years of being a king, Cyrus died. Automatically, his son, that was Kamibaz, we'll see who was Kamibaz, that took his place, okay? He started to rule the entire empire, Rabotai, I repeat, the entire world, 127 countries. That means, Rabotai, listen to me carefully, that the Persian become the major empire in the world. And that time, obviously, Haman HaRasha lived. Haman HaRasha was among the people that live in that generation. Haman HaRasha was with his 10 kids. We'll see that later on. I'll speak about his kids. There's a big mahloket how many kids he had. But Haman lived in that time from his wife Zeresh that he have 10 boys. I especially say boys because he have also girls from Zeresh. He have a son on the name of Shimei. Shimei was an author. And him, in a small group, with the help of Vashti, the queen, they managed to convince Kamibaz, that was a Hashverosh, to stop building the second temple. The Nes of Purim started after 3 years of Ahashverosh become a king. That means on the third year of his rulership, he make their big feast, as we all know. We're going to read in the Megillah, please God, next week. And then we're going to go into depths with that. We're going to explain the Megillah as much as we can. That's when the miracle of Purim started. That's actually when the decree was on the Jewish people. That's how it starts. And the 16th of Nisan, that means 16 of Nisan, from the feast, that's when Haman HaRasha and his 10 boys been hanged. That's a bit of history to give us a bit of idea when is the miracle of Purim performed. Before I continue, there is any question? No, let's continue. Now I would like to speak about the characters, the character that we have in the Megillah. So one of the most major player we have is Mordechai Yehudi. Who was Mordechai Yehudi? Mordechai Yehudi, Rabotai, just to give you a bit of history about him, he was member of the Sanhedrin. Everyone understand what is Sanhedrin? Sanhedrin, that was the Beit Din that was sitting in Lishkat HaGazit. Lishkat HaGazit, that was in Bet HaMikdash. They have a special place that if people have dispute, people used to go there. He was a member of the Sanhedrin. He lived in a time of the first temple and the second temple. That's when Mordechai lived. Mordechai used to speak 70 languages. He used to speak, he used to understand, and he used to write 70 languages. In Gemara Masechet Menachot, in page 64, folio 2, and 65, folio 1, Rashi HaKadosh explained that Mordechai lived for 400 years. Mordechai lived for 400 years, Rabotai. Not only that, Hazal tell us in the Gemara Masechet Yoma, in page 12, folio 2, that Mordechai in his time was equivalent to Moshe Rabbeinu in his time. That means that Mordechai a Yehudi was equivalent to Moshe Rabbeinu. Mordechai was from his father's side. Sorry? Who? Sorry? Who bringing it? The Gemara in Masechet Yoma 12, folio 2. Page 12, folio 2. Mordechai, from his father's side, was belonged to the tribe of Binyamin. From his mother's side, he was belonged to the tribe of Yehuda. And now you can understand why they call him Mordechai Yehudi, because he was from the tribe of Yehuda. And we all call here Jews Yehudim after Yehuda. Mordechai is buried in Iran, in a city that's called Hamadan. There's a big grave. There's actually, if you want to see, there's a special footage that's been released a year ago that Jewish people that gone to Iran took the footage of the grave of Mordechai and Esther. Esther also been buried in Iran in the city of Hamadan. Mordechai been called Petahiyah. Why Petahiyah? Because Mordechai can answer any question that was difficult. He used Poteach Ba'alacha. That's Mordechai a Yehudi. Any question regarding Mordechai? Yes?
When you say live 400 years, was that an exceptional lifespan?
Absolutely. In that time, definitely. In that time, definitely. Definitely. Because you remember when we was on Sefer Bereshit, someone asked in a shiur on Shabbos, how come that the lifespan on those times was much longer than what we are today? And we explained the reason. That what we are achieving today, it took them so many years to achieve. You understand what I'm saying? Halachically, spiritually and physically. You follow?
Sorry,
Yes.
I didn't quite get that. Who said that Mordechai was equivalent to Moshe?
Okay. In the Gemara Masechet Yoma, Hazal explained. Our sages explained there. Page 12, folio 2. 12, Daf Yud Bet, Amud Bet. Yoma. That speak about, Yoma speak about Yom Kippur. Okay? There Hazal explained. The next character that we're going to speak is Esther HaMalka. Esther HaMalka, a matter of fact, her name is not Esther. What was her name? Hadassah. Hadassah. That was her name. So we'll see why they call her Esther. And that's also why the Megillah call Megillat Esther and doesn't call Megillat Esther and Mordechai, or Mordechai and Esther. We'll explain why. Esther was the daughter of Avihail. Avihail was from the tribe of Binyamin also. The story about her go like this. When her mother fell pregnant with her, her father died. 9 months later when she born, her mother died. Her cousin, Mordechai, adopted her. Mordechai was a cousin to Esther HaMalka. How? That the father of Mordechai and the father of Esther was brothers. You follow? A bit of idea about Esther. The Gemara in Masechet Megillah, in page 13, folio 1, Hazal tell us that Esther was one of the 7 women, the prophet women that the Jewish people had. You know, we have 7 women in our Bible that there was prophet. Esther was one of them. Esther been called Esther because she hidden her identity while she was in the house of Ahasuerus. And that's why the Megillah called Esther. We'll explain, please God, next week. Esther was one of the 4 most beautiful women in the world. I repeat, one of the most beautiful women in the world, and that was Esther. That's according to the Gemara, Masechet Megillah, page 15, folio 2. That's Hazal saying. Esther been buried also in Iran, as I mentioned, in the city of Hamadan. There is a big grave that Mordechai is on one side and Esther is on the other side. Any question? No. Ahasuerus. Yes, Brent, you wanted to ask?
How are Jews allowed into Iran?
Sorry?
How are Jewish people allowed into Iran?
How the
Jewish people get into Iran?
how the Jewish people got to Iran. So, if you look at the video, you see that they video it, they hide the camera. They're not allowed to talk. There's a lot of Jews that came from Iran that they still have the Iranian passport and they can go there. A matter of fact, that the grave of Mordechai and Esther been looked after. It's a very, very looked after grave. They looked after that place. In Iran. Abota, let me explain to you something. There's many graves. If you go to Egypt today, there's a university on the name of the Rambam. Most of the Arab country, if you look to Morocco and you look at the Jewish cemeteries, you see how they're well looked after, especially the great sages that came from there. They're well looked after. The only problem is that they're anti-Israel. They call it anti-Zionist. I don't know what the difference. A Jew is a Jew. Not that the Jew can do whatever they want in Iran. Don't kid yourself for a second. But they looked after the grave of Mordechai and Esther. The next character that we're going to speak, it's going to be the Ahasuerus. Ahasuerus, it's not so simple about him. his ancestors, it's complicated. Because I'm going to bring two different opinions. Because I'm going to bring one from the Gemara and one from the Midrash, who he was. So as we understand from the Midrash, in Midrash Rabbah on Megillat Ruth, in chapter 1, verse 3, there they explain that Ahashverosh, his name was Kamibaz, and he was the son of Cyrus, Koresh. He was from the royal family of the Persian royal family. Sorry? The Persian royal family. According to the Gemara in Masechet Megillah, page 11, folio 1, there is dispute amongst the sages, and Rav, that was a sage, Rav said that the matter of fact, Ahashverosh, he wasn't from the Persian royal family. Not that only that he wasn't, he was the stable boy. According to the Gemara, Megillah, page 12, folio 2. And Hazal tell us that Vashti, his wife, used to call him the stable boy of my father. She used to nickname him. So how he become a king? Hazal explained that Ahashverosh finds 68 different treasure in the Euphrates River that Nebuchadnezzar hidden. And he became one of the richest men in the world. And he has so much power and influence that he bought his kingdom. The next one is Vashti, the Queen Vashti. We all hear about the Queen Vashti, who she was. The Queen Vashti was a granddaughter of Nebuchadnezzar. That's mean from the Persian royal family. She was the daughter of Avil Merodach. Avil Merodach was the son of Nebuchadnezzar. She was the granddaughter. And Hazal explained that she married Ahashverosh in one condition. She agreed to marry him. That if he will stop the building of the second temple, she agreed to marry him. Vashti, in ancient Persian, it means the best. In modern Persian, Vashti means beautiful. That's the explanation to a name. That's the explanation of the name Vashti. Any question about Vashti? No. Let's move, sorry?
How did she fit into the four most beautiful women in the world?
I can't hear. How did she?
Fit into the group of four women in the world. Beautiful, most beautiful women in the world.
Vashti?
Yes.
I didn't say that. I say Esther.
Yes, I'm asking about Vashti.
So the first beautiful woman in the world was Hava. Eve. You heard about Eve? Then was Sarai Imenu. Did you hear about Sarai Imenu? The third one was a woman by the name of, it will come to me, a very, very beautiful woman also that Hazal speak about it. It's sitting on Matan. And the fourth one was Esther. You follow? Now we're going to get to Haman HaRasha. What do we know about Haman? Haman was from the descendants of Amalek. Amalek. Remember Amalek that we read? Haman was 17th generation from King Hagag. From the King Hagag. That Shaul HaMelech killed him. You remember? Shmuel, but Shaul captured him. Sorry. Shukah for correcting me. 500 years from Hagag to Haman. 17th generation, if you work it out. Haman born in Persia, in a city that's called Kardom. That's how Hazal explained in the Gemara Masechet Megillah 16, folio 1. A village in the name of Kardom. Haman profession. You know what was his profession? He was a barber. Exactly, he was a barber. For 20 years, he was a barber until he joined the Persian army. A guy that cut the hair, a barber. And you'll see there why Ahashverosh, just to give you a hint, Nachon that Ahashverosh said to Haman, what did he say to him? He said to him, you remember he asked him, B'mia, Hu HaMelech Hafetz Be'ikaro. Haman was thinking that he's going to be the next one. What did Ahashverosh say to him? That's what you're going to do to who? To Mordechai. So he took Mordechai and he washed him. He cut his hair because Mordechai was sitting on a fast. Mordechai didn't eat. He didn't cut his hair because it was a decree on the Jewish people. So he washed him. He cut his hair. He prepared them. We'll speak about it, please God, in the Megillah next week. And we'll bring some explanation. So he was a barber. For 20 years he was a barber. That was his profession. Until he joined the Persian army. And then he became an army. And that's how he politically, after he became an officer, he politically moved himself until he became the most important and the most close man to Ahashverosh. There is, when we read the Megillah, we know that it tells us that he have 10 boys. And Hazal tell us that they hang a man and then they hang the 10 boys. Nachon? That's what Esther HaMalka wrote and Mordechai. But I don't know if to share it with you or not, but just to give you an idea. The Gemara in Masechet Megillah, page 15, folio 2, say there is a mahloket among the sages. How many kids Haman HaRasha have? So according to one opinion, 30 kids. According to other opinion, 70. The third opinion in the Gemara, 208 kids. Rabotai, can you imagine? 208 kids. Rashi HaKadosh explain in the Gemara, how can it be? Because in one place, the Megillah tells us that he have 10 boys. We know about another daughter, we'll explain what's happened. But 208, how did you come to 208 boys? Sorry, Rabotai, not kids, boys. I'm correcting
Zuma.
myself. Huh?
He's beating Zuma.
Zuma far behind him. 208 boys. Rashi explained, I'll tell you what's the difference. What it says in the Megillah, referring to Vashti. From Vashti, he have 10 boys. But Haman HaRasha have many other women. That from them, he brought all the other Amalekim. So, vice versa, we saw that in the end, HaKadosh Baruch Hu changed the decree and we killed the Amalekim of that generation. Just to share with you one other idea, and then with that I'm going to conclude. Hazal tell us, in the future, all the festival, when the Mashiach come, going to be cancelled. Not going to be any more. How come that after the Mashiach come, the festival of Purim will be forever? Did you ask yourself?
Save the nation. Save the Jewish nation.
Save the nation, but also in Hanukkah. In Hanukkah it was the same. And Hanukkah going to stay also. That's it. So why? Do you ask yourself? So I saw today, I was listening to a shiur, again from Arav Ben-Tion Mutzafi Shalita, and he brought the opinion of one of the commentaries, and he said like this, if I'm not mistaken, it's Rabbeinu Behaye, and he said like this, that in every generation, there is Amalek. There is certain Amalek that hate us, hate the Jews.
No shortage.
No shortage, exactly. America has its own Amalek until Trump come. I don't know if Trump not going to turn to another Amalek, but Barack Hussein Obama definitely was Amalek.
For sure.
Definitely. He hated the Jews. And we saw what he done for the Jews. So in every generation we have. In the Holocaust, we have Hitler, Yimach Shemo v'Zichro. Before that, in Poland, we have Hamanitsky and his friend. The Spanish Inquisition. The Queen Isabel, remember, from Portugal. Sorry, the Russian Tsar. So I tell you that Purim come to tell you that every generation will have Amalek. And we have to deal with Amalek of that generation. But when the Mashiach come, not going to be any more Amalekim. That festival going to stay forever. That's the one explanation. There's many others, but let's leave it for now because the time is late. So now that we know a little bit about the story of Purim, when is it happen? Not only that, we know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu changed the decree and hang Haman and his 10 sons. And as you know, Hazal tell us in the Gemara, Masechet Ta'anit, page 29, folio 2. Mishenichnas Adar marbim besimcha. When the months of Adar enter on us, we should increase simcha. And why am I saying it? Rabotai, the month of Adar is a special month for the Jewish people. That the star luck, Hazal say in the Gemara Masechet Ta'anit, page 29, folio 2, that if a person have a dispute with a Gentile, should do it in Adar. That's a good month for us, for everything, because our star luck is above everything. And the same like HaKadosh Baruch Hu changed the decree on the Jewish people and hang the Haman of that time. May please God, he'll hang the Haman of our time that there is. If it's the Hezbollah, if it's the Hamas, if it's the Iran of today, there is so many of them, we don't know where they are. And Be'ezrat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will change the decree and send us, Mashiach Tzidkenu b'mehera b'yameinu, amen, ken yeh ratzon.